would like to read something, learn it once, and then remember it once and for all? What if you could consume books at a rapid pace? What if you could do that in half the time? What if you could never ever forget ever again? What if AI can be your second brain and not just that, help you accelerate your learnings, that way upgrade your entire life all the way to the next level? Hi, my name is Suryadeep, and in this video, you're going to go through the step-by-step process that I uncovered using some of the world's greatest AI tools that only you need 30 minutes a day, not more than that. It'll take your entire learning all the way to the next level. While we do that, there are a lot of bunch of gifts that's there in store. Every single thing is given in the description, so you can follow this entire journey with me throughout from beginning till the end. As you stay with me, you will figure out, and by the end of this video, you will have one single piece of your personalized AI that will do the learning for you, with you, and you will be able to remember things like never before. Before we begin, all throughout school, there are all these different subjects that we studied. We studied history, geography, dates, timings, and so on and so forth. And yet, there are certain things that we remember. There are certain other things that we forget. For example, if I ask you 3 into 3 equals 9, you will remember it instantly. Maybe your maths teacher beat you nicely to force you to remember it, or you wrote a lot of exams, or you repeated it multiple number of times and it became your rote learning. Maybe states and subjects, state capitals, the different scientific names of different species, could be lots of stuff that you can remember, and yet there are loads of stuff that you forgot as well. Now, at this point of time, you are probably in your work, you are a leader, you are growing in your day-to-day life, you're having multiple areas of life where you need to focus on. Unfortunately, our school and college did not train us for that. Now, I know for sure that you and I are overloaded with information. So there's not a lack of information or resources. We've got literally all the information that we need at our fingertips right now. And yet, for some reason, we are not able to move forward. And that is what we are going to uncover. So to help you do that, I got this crazy thing in store for you. Let's go through it one by one. The first, I asked you those questions. What is it that you want to remember, and why do you feel you forget every single thing that you read? Now, what if you could finish a book? What if AI was able to help you do all of those things? Now, learning has become an instant response for us, right? You go to YouTube, you can learn anything that you want. There are literally step-by-step hours and hours of tutorials that are available. You have AI where you can ask any of the questions. You can get all the books literally at fingertips thanks to platforms like Amazon. And yet, things become so difficult. And that's mainly because of the hidden problem that comes in. We've got so much of information that we are pounding ourselves in, all these different resources. Yet we remember very little. And that's where this research by Herman Ebbinghaus comes in, that talks that without review, without implementation, without proper revision, there is no way that you can process the information, and you go through a forgetting curve, which means, from what we used to learn from our teachers, that when you see something, you remember 20%. You hear it, you remember 40%. You do it physically with your hands, kinesthetic actions, you remember 60%. A week later, you redo the same thing, reread, revisit the same information. That's why revision is such an important thing. The first time when we did a chapter, it would take around, a couple of hours, maybe a day or two also to figure it out. But then just the night before the exam, we can consume the entire book in just a matter of minutes and hours if required, even one day before the exam if needed. So it's something that we are hardwired in, and yet it's something that we don't really practice on our day-to-day lives. Now that's where the research comes in. Now it's not just about the motivation. It's like our brain has this ability to store information, but never ever designed to store unlimited information. Rather, information doesn't turn into knowledge in terms of implementation. So reading feels productive. You feel that, oh, now I'm watching a lot of highlights and reels, so that's probably hyper productive for me. But when we really need the information to implement and retrieve, that's when we find it so difficult. And even when Professor John Sweller mentioned that this whole cognitive load theory, that our brain has so much of information that overwhelms the brain. Let me ask you this, looking into your eye. How often do you feel fatigued? How often do you feel exhausted? You haven't done anything throughout the day, just like you're doom scrolling reels, and suddenly you feel your brain completely shutting down. You're not getting sleep when you want to, and you end up scrolling even more, and that acts as a horrible negative reinforcement. You're not even moving forward. What's even worse is when you deliberately put yourself down, you sit yourself down to consume information, to go through a course, go through a seminar, you are finding yourself distracted because your brain is not able to focus. That is what the cognitive load is all about. Now, in order to move forward, we need to understand about AI. AI will change learning once and for all, at least now, if you're a working professional and you don't have any exams to give. Because what most, again, this is something that I've observed, what most people do is they use AI like a question. They ask a question, answer, and then they forget about it. But when you know what are the materials that you are working with and you feed that to AI, that's when you can ask questions related to your favorite book, your meeting notes, the YouTube videos that you like consuming, the different PDFs that you have stored in your phone or downloaded in your system. You can do your own research. Every single thing AI can do all at the same time. But that's when AI does not really work as just a platform to search. It starts working as an assistant. And that's when I want to introduce you to NotebookLM, and I'll also probably change this. It's also called Google Notebook, okay, or Google Notebook. Recently, it got renamed. Now, what does this platform do? Google created this platform to design an AI tool customized to your knowledge, where you upload your own resources as a context. And this prevents hallucination, and AI starts working related to that one tool that you create, the one set of information and instructions that you build. Only based on that, nothing else. Of course, you can customize it however you want, but that's the way it is. Now, if you really have to start using NotebookLM, before that, you need to understand how to get started. So what you do is you start creating your first notebook. So when you come to Google Notebooks, you have this particular page, you'll come to it. It's called notebook.google.com. You can create a notebook. The moment you create a notebook, it'll ask you to create a name. You can name it however you want. The right side includes the studio, the left side includes the sources, and the center part is where you chat. Now, I usually prefer closing the entire thing. And the easiest way for me to do it is you can ask internet itself to add all the resources. So let's come back to the mind map. What you do is you choose one topic and only one topic. This could be anything: public speaking, Python, investing, nutrition, project management, however it is that you feel best. Gather only 3 resources. Let's just say you read a book, or you want to read a bunch of books, and you have gone through some kind of a YouTube video, you have some form of notes. So you upload all of that. So to give you an example, let's just say I built a notebook about me. So you can see here about Surya, and I'll close all this. In the left side, as you can see, I uploaded just these set of sources. What are these sources? My LinkedIn profile PDF. My LinkedIn profile has all my job description, experience, all the success, certifications, education, everything it has. I downloaded it as a PDF. You can do that. Next thing I uploaded, I made AI ask me questions about my thought process, perspectives, and habits, everything. And that is what is included in this master prompt file. Now, I saved all of those answers in a Google Doc, and I uploaded it as a Google Doc. Same thing, multiple interviews. My voice profile interview. So multiple of these files is what I have uploaded. Okay. Once this is done, next you create a notebook and ask one simple question. Explain this topic to me like I'm 12 years old. So if I copy this entire prompt and come here and explain about Surya, okay, about Surya. And the way that I like to do is I always close everything like I'm 12 years old. Now, the moment I give this response, it will go into the whole instruction and it will give me a proper thought process related to those instruction in itself. And then it will give me this very, very interesting personalized response. However, right now, if I copy that same prompt and I go to a ChatGPT temporary chat and copy and put this is how you usually do it, right? Explain about Surya like I'm 12 years old. This is a very, very generalized response. And the answer that comes in is, there you go. Okay. Now, obviously, this ChatGPT knows a little bit about me already. So based on that, it's giving me answers. But when you look at this answer, if I read this answer and if I read this answer, the Notebook LM answer, this is much more personalized, exactly related to what I have already information that I've shared with Notebook LM. So when you figure that out, you will be able to find the difference. So what AI has is AI, you can consider AI as the complete PhDs of all the different specializations all across every single subject ever invented in mankind is all put together and given to you in the form of a chatbot where you can ask and it'll give you the answers. Unfortunately, we haven't yet mastered the techniques to ask the different questions the way we want. And that's why Notebook LM makes it a lot simpler. It's not just that. When you move forward, you'll begin to realize that a single notebook can become your own individual personalized learning system. So let's just say I have that about Surya section that I showed you. What I can do is I can add other sources, mix and match and study. So if this notebook is there, I can go and do an advanced search. There are two options, fast research and deep research. Let's just say I do a click on deep research and I say, I want you to find the greatest TEDx talks in the world combined with the greatest courses, full-fledged YouTube courses on public speaking and communication skills. So it will do the research and it'll compile all of those research and I can add them as sources. Along with that, I'm adding the sources of my own interview, my voice profile, all of those things. So now what can I do? I can use that same notebook and I explain difficult ideas. I compare different authors. I can answer questions, take out sources from there. And the way that I want to work, the way that I want to learn, I can ask those questions accordingly. So personally, the way that I prefer asking questions is I believe in abstract thinking and abstract implementation. It's more of an active approach towards learning rather than passive. What is active and passive learning? According to me, active learning is when you yourself have the curiosity to learn a subject. So you ask questions. You ask all kinds of stupid questions to all the intellectual questions. Teachers, they have the horrible habit of discarding questions, putting your hands down. They even smile, taunt, laugh at you. Notebook LM doesn't do any of it. And you can choose what all sources you need to upload. Based on that, you'll get the answer. That's active. Passive is when the teacher is teaching something and you follow that entire pace. You learn, memorize, go into the exam and vomit. That's all about it. That's not what we want, right? That's how you can use Notebook LM. Refreshing knowledge is when you can update the different sources, update the revision materials, accordingly navigate through the problems that you are going through. So even when you're preparing for meeting notes, you can upload all the slides and accordingly ask Notebook LM to explain everything to you. Again, there are endless possibilities as your learning library grows as well. Now, why does this matter? When Barbara Oakley did the research, this is what she came up with. In order to have effective learning and long-term mastery, it comes with speed review, retrieval, making meaningful connections between ideas. Even Steve Jobs also mentioned this in his Stanford address, where he spoke about as your life moves forward, you will go through experiences, and every experience is like a dot. But as you progress in your life, you look back, you will figure out that the dots are automatically connecting if you figure out the lessons that every incident and experience tried to teach. So at this point of time, you can use Notebook LM to navigate through all these learnings also and get more insights in the meaning of having a personalized experience as and when you learn something. Now, Notebook LM does not really make anything easier to practice. You will obviously have to implement it, and your knowledge will begin to compound. Again, considering that you implement it. So these are the different people who will get benefited. Lifelong learners who decide to be so, lifelong students. If you're a professional manager, content creator, consultant, founder, business owners in particular, anyone who is very busy, is learning from multiple sources, but nothing organized and streamlined in one manner, this tool works magically. So at the end, if you feel that forgetting is normal and predictable, but then you do not want that for yourself. You want to fix that. Learning gets improved as and when information is organized and information is turned into knowledge, turned into implementation. AI can help you do that, but that's only possible if you give it the right knowledge. Notebook LM becomes your one place centralized resource learning hub. You can also manage your notebooks in different manner, and most importantly, you build a proper learning workflow that you can use every single day. Now, I've just given you a very brief demo of what's possible. Why should you do it? What are you going to use this platform for? And the first set of steps that you can take in order to start this entire journey from today itself. However, if you want to take it to the next level and install the entire learning system, all the way from building your first notebook, all the way till you're building your second brain that literally thinks like you, I've created a step-by-step program which you can finish in a single sitting in less than 3 hours. The details and everything is given below. All you need to do is just check in, sign up, and you will get ready to be transformed. Other than that, there are a bunch of other details that I share personally with you in my newsletter. You'll also get free coupons of every micro course that comes out. So check that out as well. And if you're new here, do share your one thought of what is that one topic that you're planning to start using Notebook LM with. If there's any future videos that you'd like me to cover with respect to AI, do let me know below. Looking forward to serving you. Lots of crazy stuff coming out your way.